Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of the YouTube very popular show called The Table, is my co-host today. We're here to help you and talk to you about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. So Anthony, Forbes is reporting this. And Anthony, by the way, #1 best-selling book, Debt-Free Degree, which apparently a lot of people didn't get, the book or the idea.
Right.
Because the student loan crisis is at epic proportions.
Yeah.
According to the Washington Post, President Joe Biden will not include any student loan cancellation in his annual budget. While the annual budget, which is expected at the end of the next week, only contains major policy plans that have already been released by the Biden administration, it's another major setback for student loan cancellation. As a presidential candidate, Biden called for Congress to cancel up to $10,000 of student loans for student loan borrowers, but hasn't enacted any policy for student loan cancellation through an executive order. The exclusion of student loan cancellation isn't a surprise based on the latest news on student loan cancellation. It's easier to read the writing on the wall about where Biden stands on his executive authority to cancel student loans. It's not that Biden doesn't support student loan cancellation. He does. However, Biden wants Congress, not the president, to enact student loan cancellation through legislation. So, Turns out, and you know, we used to say things when I was a kid, Anthony. See if you've ever heard this saying. That's like an act of Congress, which means it's impossible.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you can't get, it'll take forever. And if you do get, you know, it's easier to get an act of Congress. Hear people say, I've heard people say that my whole life, and so now Biden is saying it. But yeah, so the the problem though is that people quit paying their student loans because they think that AOC and Biden is going to come, and Elizabeth Warren is going to come save them.
Yeah.
And so the default rate on student loans have gone way up because they're all anticipating a forgiveness, some kind of a political activity to forgive their loans. And it appears if it does happen, it's not going to be anytime soon.
And I think the thing that is so discouraging for me, Dave, is I've been criticized on my show telling people take advantage of paying off your student loans because you're not gaining any interest right now. But the #1 critique that I'm getting from people is, well, wait, I'm going to see what Biden is going to do with canceling the student loans. And now look, we get this. Mm-hmm. We get this. Like, Biden is not going to fight for it. And I believe, now, Dave, I could be wrong. Let me say this on the Ramsey Show. I could be wrong. But I do not see Congress coming in and making it happen. Now, it could happen, but history is showing us that it's not going to happen.
Well, it could happen. But one thing's for sure. Mm-hmm. Not anytime soon.
Ooh.
That we can count on.
Yeah.
Because it requires an act of Congress, right? And so it's not going to, so the problem with this is where piss poor leadership sends a signal that causes people to engage in self-destructive behaviors.
Yeah.
Meaning, I'm not going to pay my student loans because the government's going to let me out of them. And so now I'm in default. And default, by the way, screws up your credit. Mm-hmm. By the way, it builds up late fees and interest and penalties. And by the way, it's going to make it harder for you to get out. And by the way, most of you owe more than $10,000.
Yeah. The average owes about $38,000.
That's the average nationally, and we talk to people on here every day with over 100.
Absolutely.
I think the thing is this, folks. What you really need to get your head around from an economics perspective, not a political perspective, not a moral or philosophical is it your right to have your student loan forgiven? Is it philosophically correct? All of that really doesn't matter. Here's a real practical fact for you. The government is not good at anything.
Definitely.
They're not efficient at anything. And so anytime, anywhere in your life, you are waiting on them to fix your life is going to continue to suck.
Yes.
It's a simple principle of life.
Yeah.
If anybody wearing a Superman cape with an R or a D on it is flying across in your vision, promising you that your life is going to be okay, and you believe them when they do that, you are screwed.
Now, Dave, would you agree if I said, hey, listen, keep riding your path, keep paying your student loans, keep doing it, and if Congress comes in and says, I'll forgive $10,000, then you take it. But if they don't, you're still moving forward.
I wouldn't say not to take it.
There you go.
If it comes.
Thank
but
you.
I would not adjust your current life and your current plan based on false promises coming out of Washington, D.C. because they've been coming out of Washington, D.C. as long as it has been there.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I'm old. 100% of my success has been the blessings of the Lord.
Yeah.
Customers that loved how we served them, and my hard butt work.
Yeah.
I have not gotten any money from Washington, D.C. They have not sent me any money. I'm not waiting on them to create a successful life for Dave Ramsey. And if you wait on them to create a successful life for you, your life's going to continue to suck.
Yeah.
The same thing when I'm waiting on Biden bucks to come in, the stimulus money. If $600 changes your life was already messed up, baby. You were already playing small ball. You weren't playing big. It's T-ball. So you need to get in where they're throwing fast pitches and swing for the fence, honey. If you want to you got to play big. You got to think big. And you're playing small ball when you're looking for the government to bail you out of anything. Now, if they start handing me some of the money I have paid them back in any form or format,
Agreed.
I will take that. Now, when I take it, it's a different kind of criticism than you get when you talk about this.
Yeah.
If I take it, it's called corporate welfare.
Oh, Lord.
Corporate welfare. No, that was me getting some of my money back.
Oh, Lord.
That's what that was. So any chance I can get my corporate welfare, I'll be signing up for that. But I am not waiting, and I'm not adjusting my success patterns, the behaviors in my life to wait on the government to fix my life. I'm not going to let them influence me into violating common sense in order to do that. And that's what you have as another failed political promise right here.
Absolutely. So the moral of the story, America, is
pay off your dadgum student loans.
Go after it. And if they give you some money, use it. Use it wisely. But until then, if they do not, pay your bills. Bottom line.
As fast as you can.
Yeah.
The secret to becoming a millionaire is not waiting on the government to do it for you. Oh, wow, that was insightful. Who thought up that?
I did.
Destroy your student loans if you want to do that. There's a book by Anthony O'Neill at RamseySolutions.com right now. That'll really get you out of debt, but we're not paying any of it for you, darling. You're going to pay it. This is The Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org/budget.
We absolutely believe in it.
Anthony, we could do student loan forgiveness. We could just say, I forgive you.
I was about to say, wait, where are you going with this, Dave?
It's worth about when one of the politicians says it, right? It's about as good. It's about as useful.
Wow.
I forgive you.
Wow, Dave.
I've got student loans. I forgive you.
Oh, yeah. You just made somebody upset listening right now.
I've been doing that for 30 years. It's a spiritual gift. All right, Sarah's with us in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hey, Sarah, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure. How can we help?
So we just recently heard about your plan in this last year, and we've worked really hard, and we've got rid of $20,000 in credit card debt and have about $6,000 left. The problem is that recently, about 10 years ago, my in-laws gave us $10,000 when we were getting out of medical school, and my husband was going to get his first job, and we're moving across the country. And they said, okay, just pay this back whenever you have it. It's not a big deal. Well, recently we offended them, and they want their $10,000 back. So we don't have that money.
Let's rephrase this. When someone says, give it back to me later, that's not a gift, that's a loan.
Okay.
Right? You just pay us back whenever, no big deal. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a loan. Isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, they loaned you money. And but it just didn't have really good clarity and good communication and good terms. There was no date certain, no interest rate, no payment rate, nothing. It was just, pay us back someday when you can.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. And how many years ago was this?
10.
10 years.
And you told me that, and I already forgot already. And so your household income now is what?
It's about $150.
Mm-hmm. And you have $6,000 left plus this 10, right?
Yes. Well, we have a mortgage and we have a car payment.
Oh, car payment is part of the debt snowball, hon. So $6,000 plus a car. What do you owe on your car?
It's around $30,000.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So you have $46,000 in debt, and you make $150.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much do you have in your savings
and we do
right
have
now?
Student loans.
Wait. Okay, Sarah, hold on. I got this, Dave. So, Sarah, when we asked this question on how much debt did you have, that's everything excluding a mortgage. Okay, so you're new to us, so I want to step in before Uncle Dave comes in. So your brother is going to come in and help you out here. So how much debt do you have excluding your mortgage right now altogether?
Okay, so $6,000 credit card, $30,000 the car payment, and about $100,000 in student loans.
We went from $6,000 America to $136,000 in debt.
46. She owes her mother-in-law 10.
Goodness gracious. Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm going to say this too, because you're just starting off with this. You're going to work the debt snowball, and you're going to put the $10,000 inside of that debt snowball. Okay.
So you think she ought to pay them back?
I mean, well, if it was a loan, yeah.
Did it sound like to you it was a loan?
She said, give it back to us later. That's a loan to me.
Okay. I'm just making sure we heard the same thing.
Okay. Am I wrong?
No. I'm just checking. Just checking in with you,
Sarah. I mean, I wish you could see us on the show right now.
Since you're running interference here, I thought I'd check in with you.
Yeah, I was about to say, Sarah, Uncle Dave over here looking at, Brother Dave. I mean, Anthony over here, like, what was you thinking? But yeah, I think you need to add that in there. So to answer your direct question, yes, you need to pay it back. And I think owing family money compared to owing a bank money is worse, in my opinion, because it just creates so much more drama. And so I want you to get to it as much as possible, as quick as possible. But
what is the $6,000 debt?
Yeah.
The 6?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
It's a normal credit card with a low rate.
Okay. And then you have another $30,000 on one single credit card? No, that's a car. That's the car.
Yeah, that's a car.
Okay. That's a car.
Good. Okay. All right, cool.
Yep.
So our debt snowball, Sarah, that we teach, the fastest, most efficient way to get out of debt is list your debts smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate, and attack them in that order. Do you all have any money in savings that is not retirement?
I bet you they do.
We have a Roth IRA.
That's retirement. Not retirement.
And no.
How much money do you have in your checking account right now?
About 10,000.
Okay, that's a pretty good bit. All right, so what would I do if I woke up in your shoes today? Is how we answer questions here. Knowing what I know of 30 years of teaching people to become wealthy, the shortest distance between you and wealth is to be debt-free before, not counting your mortgage, as soon as possible. Because if you had no payments making $150,000, you'd have some money. Agreed?
Right.
Okay. So we're going to list the debts smallest to largest and attack them out of order. Today, I'm going to write a check and pay off the $6,000 credit card. By the way, you need to cut it up and close it and only use a debit card. You can't get out of debt while you continually go back in. Okay?
Yeah.
Then
and we're
number
well
two,
on our way for that one.
thing number two is you're going to, as soon as possible in the next 2 months, write a check and pay off your in-laws. Now, here's the problem. The only reason they want the money back now is they're trying to punish you because you didn't mind them.
Right.
They told you to do something and it offended them, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Well, because we've kind of seen a pattern of behavior, they wanted to move to the same town as us. And we said that we didn't think that was a good idea. So they were very, very upset.
Yeah, that would hurt their feelings. So what was the what's the pattern of behavior?
Just that they get offended very quickly and easily over small things. And we were like, if you're living right next to us, they're going to, they're going to be upset at us for this or that. And things like this are going to happen for the rest of our life, for their life.
So we go ahead and give them a big thing to be offended at, like don't move to my town. That's not a little one. That's a big one.
That's huge.
Okay. Yeah, that would hurt most people's feelings. So you've already drawn some uncomfortable boundaries with them that you felt were necessary. And I'm not saying they weren't, but so you telling them when you're going to pay back a loan that you choose to pay back on a moral ground, not a legal ground, because they have no legal standing in this at all. This was a handshake.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
So you get to choose the terms.
Okay.
So in other words, no, you don't get to choose to punish me by doing this, but I will honor your request and repay the loan on my terms. You don't have to say it that way, but you just take that stand. And your terms happen to be that it's the next thing on your list of things to do since you paid off your credit card today.
Okay. And
then you're going to save up real quick, 1 month or 2 months, and you're going to write one check for $10,000. And be sure in the 4 column to put paid in full.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That just sends another message for them to be offended about. But just in case they decide to come back and go, now we want interest or whatever, because this is all they're getting.
Right.
And they're not getting anything else. So, because I'm not having you pay them back because their feelings are hurt, I'm having you pay them back because you were obligated to do that morally anyway. When you took the money, it was a loan, and we're all in agreement on that, are we not, Sarah?
Yes.
Yeah, even though you don't really want to because they're instituting this on pure punishment and they're being childish, I don't blame you for those feelings, but I'm executing on principle here and on mathematics, and let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Oh, and by the way, now you're free. The borrower's slave to the lender, and you're not anymore beholden. And so now you can be kind and strong and gentle with them and continue to set appropriate boundaries. Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless. O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author of the book Debt-Free Degree, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. On the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Stephen is with us. Hey, Stephen, how are you?
Good. How about yourself?
Better than I deserve, brother. Where do you live?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, beautiful town.
Nice.
Very cool. And all the way to Nashville to do a debt-free scream.
That's it.
Love it. How much have you paid off?
$89,000.
Love it. How long did this take?
It took me 364 days.
Oh, he beat the year.
I had a leap year, so that helped.
I love it. I love it. And your range of income during this year?
It was starting at 79 and went up to 94.
Good for you.
And I had a $20,000 gift from my uncle.
Very nice. What do you do for a living?
I'm a technology analyst for a large consulting firm.
Good for you. And what kind of debt was the $89,000?
It was all student loans.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
What's your degree in?
Yeah.
So it's a multifaceted one. It's industrial engineering and accounting and poli-sci.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. From where? Where'd you go to school?
Clemson.
Okay, good. And so you get out of school. How long you been out of school?
It's been about a year and a half now.
Okay.
Oh, you started attacking as soon as you got out.
As hard as I could.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what inspired you to do that?
I think, well, first I found out about you guys through the podcast, and I've always had kind of a proclivity for personal finance, and as I started to learn more about it, I started to learn just about how there was seemingly only one model, that everybody had to follow this one path. It was unilateral, and everybody did the same thing as far as leveraging debt to help them achieve their goals. And listening to y'all's podcast, it was the first one that didn't try to detach personal finance from the rest of your life. It was the first time that a financial advisor would talk to people about how there's relational IQ, would talk to people about how there's financial IQ, and talk to people about their goals beyond just be wealthy. It's to also be generous. And when I graduated, I didn't really know exactly what my student loan debt was at. I kind of floated through college financially and did what I could to get by, but never really took things too serious. And then one night my dad and I sat down and summed it all up. And that was kind of the night that I just, I remember my world was spinning around me. I could look and see my feet, but I didn't see the ground. It was crazy. And then I thought back to Matthew 21:12 when Jesus, he cast out the money changers in the temple and he cast out both the sellers and the buyers. And he said, anybody that participates in that system, they're thieves. And I wouldn't do that anymore. And I swore from that day on, I was like, this is it. I can't be part of a system that is an oppressive debt system where so many people struggle and just to line the wallets of the big wigs, in the city skyscrapers.
So let me ask you this question, Stephen. Doing the math, you got a $20,000 gift, so that means you had about $69,000 in student loan debt, but then your range was 79 to 94. So this means, man, you were living way, and I mean way below your means.
Yeah.
Talk to the listeners on
How did you make it?
That's what I was trying to figure out. Like, how did you do it? And then why did you go to that extreme?
Well, so the gift was an inheritance from my uncle. When he passed away, his dream was always, he had one rule, go to college, just don't go to law school. And so so that
Don't want any lawyers in the family.
Well, and so that was his thing, was he really wanted me to use that money to succeed. And so that was part of it. I think building a big why is a really, really important step in finding out a lot about yourself and about your personal motivations.
Yeah.
I would, clinch tight to my why throughout the whole process. And another big thing, AO, actually, you say it all the time, and it's just become something I live by. But when you say to speak what you seek until I see what I spoke, that's been big for me.
Yeah.
And so part of my why is I actually want to go on to law school. And so I want to keep going, and I want to succeed financially. I want to be generous. I want to leave a legacy, and I hold on to that. And I tell myself, if I've done this, I can even go further. And I keep talking about what my goals are, because it's not a I wish for them. It's one day I'll get there. I just know it's hard work between me and them.
And I don't want to get too much into your personal business, but were you living at home during this time, or?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Because I was just trying to make sense with the math. I'm so happy you said yes, you were.
Yeah, my parents, they were very, very generous. I am very blessed.
I love it. I love it, man.
So now you're making almost $100,000 a year, and you have no debt in the world.
That's it.
And you're how old?
Yeah.
I am 24.
Are you single?
I'm not. I've got a girlfriend.
Oh, I was about to hook you up right here on the Ramsey Show.
Anthony's going to play matchmaker. Uh-oh.
Oh, she's right there. She is beautiful.
Yeah.
She is. I love it. I'm
And
sorry,
now you're
ladies.
in trouble.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said
you
I'm
need
sorry.
to stay out of the
ladies.
love business right there. I'm just saying. Oh, man. Way to go. Way to go, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so you were living at home, and you lived on nothing still.
Genuinely
I mean, you
nothing.
truly didn't go out to eat, and, you were like the ultimate cheap date.
Oh, it was awful. I mean
Well, he
there's
didn't
one
go out
thing
on
for
dates.
sure. She doesn't love you for your stuff, or for where you were taking her.
no.
It was because there was none of that. You were just getting out of debt, and you're free now. Way to go, man!
Thank you.
Okay, so you just listened in detail and attacked it exactly like we teach. Was there anything else you did special?
Well, so I was. You guys could consider me like a Ramsey super user. I was listening to every single hour of every single podcast. I worked nights and weekends at a second job. Trying
What was
to make
the second job?
I was delivering pizzas.
Oh,
Come
good.
on, man.
And and I mean, I was constantly listening to the podcast, consuming every bit of media, listening to Debt Free Degree, listening to about the student loan crisis. I mean, everything I could just to stay laser focused. And at no point did I question that I would be on this debt free stream. It was a question of when, not if.
Come on, man.
It was that focus that really, really helped.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That's the difference when people actually make it out of debt or they don't. Mm-hmm. That is they just put blinders on, and that's their thing. Mm-hmm. For a short period of time, 12 months in your case, not quite 12 months, 1 day short. You had one thing you're focused on. And when you do that, you can do almost anything. But we live in an ADD culture where we're all distracted by squirrel, right? I mean, everything, right? Everything comes along, gets our attention, and pulls our eyes off of the goal.
Yeah.
And the problem is not how tough the goal is. The problem is all the stuff you have to give up
Yes, sir.
to stay on goal
Yeah.
with anything. And this is no exception. Way to go. I'm so proud
Thank
of
you.
you. Who are your biggest cheerleaders?
So I've got a list of people, but really all my friends, David and Caitlin, I want to appreciate you guys for always inviting me to things, knowing what my answer would be. And Candy, Mills, Leland, Miranda, and Clarissa, they always cheering me on. My mom, my dad, my brother for loving me and helping me define my why, and of course my lovely girlfriend for everything and then some.
Tolerating you being a cheap date. Yeah.
Really.
There we go.
Wait, he wasn't a cheap date, Dave.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
He was a focused date.
That's what it was.
But that made him cheap, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was intentional cheapness. It was
See-
intentional cheapness.
Yeah, but when the millennials...
But now he can do anything he wants.
Exactly. That's what I wanted
Right.
to ask him.
That's
You're
it.
making 6 figures, you debt-free. What's next?
So I've got a couple short-term goals. Probably the one I'm most excited for is I am cash flowing a trip to Europe.
Oh,
Woo,
Yes, sir.
touchdown.
Come on.
I'm pumped
man.
about that.
Bring
so I'll
it.
be there in a year. And
Love
then,
it.
of course, law school off in the future. I want to buy a house and get all that settled. And
Wait a minute,
now-
your uncle's not going to be happy.
No, he won't. He won't, but I think he'll probably laugh at it.
Uncle be happy because he going to pay for it cash.
Uncle,
it.
yeah. Uncle said no law school, and then he passed away. So there you go. But anyway, yeah. All right. Way to go, man. We got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's definitely the next step in your process. I'm so proud proud of you. Yeah. Very, very well done. And we've got another copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to pay it forward and give away. And so thank you, man. Very, very well done. Stephen from Charlotte, North Carolina, $89,000 paid off in 364 days, making $79 to $94. Busting it. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free!
Yeah! Woo, 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 woo. I love it. Europe. Not a bad payback. Yeah. This is the Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. We're taking your calls about your life and your money. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jump on YouTube or Podcast Land, wherever you listen to podcasts, and join Anthony at the table. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, or subscribe on his YouTube channel, The Table. There's lots of people come to The Table, and there are some wonderful conversations there that will cause your life to improve. And you will be substantially cooler after having listened to The Table. I cannot give you that promise with this show, but Anthony can increase your cool.
Oh, man.
It's possible. It is possible. It can be done. Christian's with us in California. Hi, Christian. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, Dave. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, I just want to say my daughter, Danny, she turned me into your show. And the reason I'm calling is me and my wife, we live in California. We are 50. I'm 53 and a half. She's 52. Really thinking on stop, maybe hopefully working from my company in the next 2 years, 55, 56. We own 2 properties. One house I live on, the other house we rent. And I'm trying to get the best advice on what to do. Both homes have equity. The one I live on, my loan is $570. The house probably worth $1.4 million. The house I rent is worth about $875. I owe $143. We were thinking on paying off the house. It's a 15-year loan. I have 6 years left. The idea was, let's pay it off, keep renting it, get $3,500, $3,600 every month, use it towards my primary home, and maybe move out of the state to rent the 2 houses and buy something somewhere else. I love the weather. I hate the politics in California. So I've been working 32 years for my company, between me and my wife. And you tell me if I'm talking too much, I'm giving you too much info, or you want to
you're fine. You're fine. So what do you make a year?
Okay. Between me and my wife, we make $190. And then the rental property give us about $42,000.
Yeah. So where would you move?
Well, I'm thinking right there, man, Tennessee.
You're thinking what?
Tennessee?
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't know. I'm thinking Nevada. We're looking at. I hear great stuff.
And when would you make this move?
I would like to stop working from a company in 2-3 years, and we were thinking right now. I have $120,000 on my own stock account, private account that I play with. And I'm thinking that's not possibly enough money, especially if I retire, to have cash on hand. And the struggle is do I want to have cash on hand and get a new loan on my rental, which I have a 3% loan, 15 years, 6 years left to pay, and get cash? So if I want to leave the state, buy some property outside the state, and still, if I do that, my rental.
Okay, let's play a pretend a minute, okay? You have $120,000, and it's in your company's stock right now, right?
No, it's in E-Trade.
Is it in your company's stock? Yes or no?
No.
No. What's it in?
It's in. I have some cash on the E-Trade account, and then I have Facebook stock.
You have what?
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's play pretend that you sold everything.
Okay.
I got $1.2 million in my pocket if I did my math right.
Yeah, $1 million.
That's your net worth.
Yeah, $1 million. Yeah, $1 million, maybe $1 million.
Not counting your retirement accounts, but the Facebook stock and your two equities are roughly $1.2 million. Is that about right?
Well, I have 800.
I know. Yeah, you gave me the numbers. That's about right. Okay, so
about $1.2 million.
If you take $1 million to $1.2 million, and you come to Tennessee, Missouri, Kansas, Texas, Nevada, whatever, you could buy a house to live in and buy a rental house and pay cash for it.
Yes.
Well, let's just do that.
Yeah, I know. My wife loves the ocean.
Well, you told me you were moving. I didn't tell you were moving.
Yeah, no, I'm moving.
Okay, the only question now is she's coming with you.
Exactly. I think she is.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, maybe you're going to Florida. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah,
I'm joking around with you here, but here's the thing. If I don't like the politics in an area, that means that those politics are going to affect economics. They already have, and they're going to again, including the real estate that you leave back there when you try to leave there and keep this rental property and have a long-distance rental property. No. Go put a rental property in an area where you believe in the area and is near where you live. And you're going to do better on the rental property at that point, and you've completely cleaned up everything, because I would not have $120,000 in any single stock, right, Anthony?
Right. And that's the key thing for me too, Dave. And I like how you're talking about how you just broke that down. 1.2. He can move to Nevada, buy a home for $500,000, buy another rental property for maybe $200,000 or $300,000, and still have some money left over
to invest in mutual funds and have a diversified portfolio.
Exactly.
And have your income off of the rental. Yeah. Have no house payment. No taxes, no income taxes anyway.
Yep.
And if you pick your state wisely, and and you can do some investing. But I don't buy single stocks.
Well,
particularly high volatile tech stocks like Facebook.
Yeah.
And I don't have long distance landlording, and I don't have debt. And so I'm trying to give you the gift of all three of those things with this proposal.
Yeah.
No long-distance landlording, no debt, and no high-risk stock investments when we're done. And then you can settle in and enjoy the next portion of your life. Because I doubt you're going to do nothing. You're too young.
Yeah.
You're probably going to go do something. You can only play so much golf or fish.
And he should. And
you need to do something and create some income just for the fun of it. Not because you have to, but the natural progression doesn't have to be you put your feet up and quit at 50-something years old.
Yeah.
So, no.
He's definitely not going to Florida. He's not going to that ocean either.
You don't think so?
No, state tax, right?
No, they don't have an income tax.
Oh, I'm going to Florida.
Well, there you go. When will you be back? Because I was kind of expecting you to be on the show next week. So,
hey, Dave, we're in a new age.
We're scheduled here.
I could do the show from the beach house in Florida.
Yeah, that's assuming we let you. See, you're making all kinds of assumptions now. No, they don't have an income tax. It's one of the reasons that people
tend to go
there. That half the time in Florida when you're walking around, you're talking to New Yorkers.
I'm just messing with you. I'm from Florida. I'm not from, but I was living in Florida before I came here.
You were in Jacksonville when you came to
Jacksonville was beautiful.
Yeah. And as far as I know, you don't have an outstanding income tax bill from when you were there before, do you?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Absolutely do not.
So that's what I would do, Christian, is I would just have a clean break, a one fell swoop. You'll have no income tax at all on the sale of your personal residence up to $500,000 in gain. Married filing jointly, $250,000 for a single, and I think you're married still. And the rental, you will have capital gains on it, or you could do a 1031 tax deferred exchange and sell that into a 1031 escrow and buy your rental out of that when you get to whatever city or state you're going into and have zero taxes. You'll roll the taxes, the capital gains over. So that's another move you can make there. Facebook, whatever you make on that, you're going to pay some taxes on, but dude, you need to get out of that by Friday anyway.
Absolutely.
Not predicting the end of Facebook, just predicting volatility in that world. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk to you about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Laurel is with us in Houston, Texas to start off this hour. Hi, Laurel. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So me and my husband are 31 years old, and we're in baby step 7, and we just had our first baby.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yes, thanks. So I was planning on going back to work after my 3-month maternity leave, but now I'm thinking I might want to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm kind of nervous about the decision because I make over half our household income, and more importantly, I'm worried about getting back into a career after maybe staying at home for 7 to 10 years with all our kids until they go into school. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on, is this an okay financial decision? And also, do you have any advice on getting back into a career after being out maybe up to 10 years?
Your home is paid for.
Yes.
And you guys make how much each?
I make $140,000, and my husband makes $100,000 before taxes.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I'm a chemical engineer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I don't know a lot about the tactical aspects of what it takes to be a chemical engineer on a day in and day out basis. I do grasp the idea that it is chemistry and a lot of math, and neither of those are going to change.
Right.
Chemistry is not going to evolve to where you don't even know, where you don't understand the formulas in 7 years, and certainly math.
Yeah.
And certainly math is not going to. There may be some discoveries and some things that there will be some discoveries and things that will affect things. You may keep up with those just by reading and staying on top of things, but I don't know that. For instance, if you were a software engineer, 7 years from now, you would be an absolute idiot. You would have no idea what's going on because it will have completely changed in 7 years. Agreed?
Agreed.
But I think the world that you're in is much more stable because it's based on formulas and suppositions, is it not?
That's true.
So it's not a rapidly evolving, completely turning over set of information that you would become irrelevant in 7 years. And you would in some industries. I mean, there's a lot of things that are moving very, very fast. And in 7 years, I mean, I look back 7 years in broadcasting, how much it's changed, you know. But you can come back in with that skill set. Now, you may have a process to do that. But you're 100% debt free. He makes $100,000 a year. You guys can live on that, can't you?
Yeah, so we're confident of that, but I would definitely want to go back to work at some point.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I guess it just makes us nervous to have such a big change, but we could easily, obviously, have a good life on $100,000.
And I don't know why you couldn't take on a lightweight consulting gig ever so often to keep your toe in the water.
That's what I was going to say, especially like the last 2 years. Like
Mainly not with a money goal, but a goal of staying relevant.
Right.
Okay.
And I'm not a father, so I mean, listen to Dave more than you listen to me. But I'm also thinking like maybe you spend the first 5 years, and then the last 2 years you start just inching your way back into picking up some consulting stuff, going out around it. So this way, when you're ready to go full throttle in it, you're already immersed back into any changes that have already been there. But I would say the first few years, focus on your kids.
You guys have worked so hard to get to this point. To be able to make these choices.
Yeah.
And you're in a position to make the choices. And here's the thing. You will not get to 84 years old and look back and go, oh, darn, I didn't maximize my career.
Yeah.
You will get to 84 and say, oh, darn, I miss those kids. I miss their childhood. I could have stayed home.
Yeah, that's what I'm most scared of.
Yeah. So quit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That helps me feel a lot better.
Yeah, that's what we would do at the Ramsey house anyway. Because money's only good for one thing, causing the things in your life that you want to have happen. That's what it's for. And that includes generosity.
Yeah.
And the only reason we invest is so we can cause more things to happen in our life. We're controlling more variables in our life. And you've done that with Baby Step 7. Way to go.
You know what, Dave? I like how you just said that, man. It even got me kind of emotional because when I heard that, I heard her say, man, I wish my parents would have been around maybe a little bit more. I'm grateful that they did what they had to do.
Well, they had to work.
Yeah.
They had to work.
But hearing that she has the opportunity to be more involved into the younger people's life, that is, to me, that is more valuable than making a whole lot of money because that's a strong investment.
Given that that's
their situation,
that's what she's able to. Number one, number two, it's her desire.
Yes,
where we've got that's not to put shame on a lady who chooses to say I want to work.
No,
I get joy out of being at home with the kids when I'm at home, but I also get joy out of my career.
Yeah,
but she just had a baby and she's like, no, I'm done. Tap out.
Yeah.
And so that's cool. So yeah, we don't shame stay-at-home moms, and we don't shame not stay-at-home moms.
Absolutely, my moms are not that. But I do, for me in my future, I want to give
the chance, the choice,
opportunity. Yes,
the choice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a matter of if they need to work.
Exactly.
It's do they want to.
And it's like, hey, it's like if you want to quit, whenever you want to quit. Do your thing. I think for me. I really love what we teach because I believe when you're debt free and you're making good amount of money, it brings options and you can choose to live the life that you want to live, not the life that you have to live.
And sometimes just getting rid of the debt does that. You don't even have to be all the way into, paid for a house and everything. But I mean, the number of times I've taken a call here and, we have a minivan that the payment is $700 on. And I could quit work if it wasn't for the minivan. Got rid of the minivan just now. It's gone. Say bye-bye, Odyssey.
Goodbye.
See you, baby.
Yep.
So out of here. I mean, really. I mean, but we make choices and we feel like we're trapped then by the debt, and you can just amputate the minivan and get your life back.
Yeah.
Amputate the Tahoe, baby.
Yeah.
Get your life back. And we trade out chunks of who we are in order to pay payments on stuff that really doesn't change our life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So way to go. Good choices, good thought pattern. I love it. Good critical thinking. This is good. This is The Ramsey Show. Hey folks, I got a great option to help you pay for your education. The Army National Guard. The Army National Guard believes you are the next greatest generation because you have proven that even in adversity, that you have what it takes to succeed. That's why they offer benefits like tuition assistance, career training, and a paycheck to help you avoid debt. No matter what your goals are, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Our famous $10 sale is almost over. Learn how to make faster and real progress with your money when you check out this $10 sale. You can save up to 60% on over 40 best-selling books, like the newly repackaged Graduate Survival Guide. It's beautiful, ready to help the graduates out. And there's graduates everywhere. This weekend there was everywhere around here, man. It was like the high schools all busted loose around here. Big time. And anyway, shop for a $10 sale online at RamseySolutions.com. Total Money Makeovers, $10. Coleman's book, Rachel's books, Christie's books, Deloney's books, all $10. Everybody's books are $10. It's pretty cool. Plus, we got a gift for you. You can enter to win our Ramsey Cash giveaway, but hurry, the giveaway ends May 31st, here any second. We're giving away $500 cash every week and a grand prize of $5,000 cash. Of course, no purchase necessary. You can enter daily. Must be 18 or older to win. Text CASH to 33789. RamseySolutions.com. Check out the store. Open phones here, 888-825-5225. Daniel is in Nashville. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Anthony. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. Man. What's up?
So my wife and I got married about a year and a half ago. We graduated about 2 years ago. And we set a goal for about 5 years. We want to move outside of the United States to just share the love of Christ with a place that doesn't know it yet. And so right now we're living in Nashville. We're both teachers here, and we were going to move closer to home to New Mexico. And so our plan was to buy a house for about 5 years and then to sell it and then leave. But just with the way the market has kind of exploded over the last 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, we are just not quite sure what to do. I've run some numbers in an Excel spreadsheet, so I have my own idea, but I was curious about what you would do if you were in my shoes.
What are y'all going to do in Nashville? I mean,
they're leaving Nashville to
not Nashville, Mexico. To New Mexico. Are y'all going to be missionary work, or are you going to still teach in
We
Mexico?
plan on continuing to teach
okay.
for 5 years still.
Okay, so we're building up a war chest to do the mission field after 5 years. Is that right?
Yeah, just growing in maturity in our marriage and professionalism, all that stuff.
Good for you. Okay, good. Well, obviously, if the housing market continues like it is for 5 years, which it won't, you would be more than okay buying a house, right?
Definitely.
Because you'd make a bazillion dollars. But I'm not assuming that's going to happen, and I'm guessing you aren't either.
That's right.
So what is your fear of buying a house and holding it 5 years?
I'm just not sure what the timelines are for like when it's better to rent versus when it's better to buy. Some things say 2 years, some things say, you should have it at least 7 years on the higher end. But I think after running the numbers, I think 5 years is safe. But what I don't want to happen is like the same sort of bubble that happened like 12 years ago, 10 years ago or so. And then, because people are overpaying about, 15 or 20,000 asking price. And so, yeah, I don't want to overpay by, 20,000 and then the house is not worth as much and we end up paying more, trying to just like resell the house than we would have if we had rented for 5 years.
Okay. None of us know what the market is going to do exactly. And, but I do not do anything financially predicated on the crash and the end of the world.
Okay.
If I'm going to do that, then we just need to buy bullets and water and a tent, right? So I don't, but could real estate offset? If you go back and actually look at the numbers, and the bubble of 2008 was a real estate bubble that burst.
Right.
It was the first
I do know
one.
some of the variables going into it
other than the Great
are
Depression, it's the only time we've had some economic downturns, but we've never had a real estate downturn like 2008 was. But here's the interesting thing. In almost every market, within 5 years, it had fully recovered.
Okay.
I mean, look at the history of it. You can look at that's a database thing. That's not a feeling. And so, I remember saying, well, people saying, well, Scottsdale, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, oh my God, it was artificially high. It dove. Vegas took a big drop. It was the fastest growing city in America, and it dropped way down. Most areas dropped down. It was the first time we'd seen homes, single family homes, actually go down in value in some of these markets. They were all back in 3 years.
Okay.
They were. And that was a dramatic one. Now, the question then is, how much money are you going to make, or are you in a stagnant market? So here's a couple of numbers if you want to nerd out further on it, just for the fun of it. Get with a real estate agent out there, and number one, you got to be debt free, right, Anthony?
Yep.
You got to have the emergency fund.
Yeah.
Got to have your down payment before we even talk about this. But assuming you've done that, you put it on a 15-year fixed rate where the payment's no more than a fourth of your take-home pay. These are the guidelines we use around here, so you don't buy too much house, and you don't buy a house when you're broke. But once you're doing all that, then you can look at two statistics with your real estate agent out there. And I would say pre-2020. I wouldn't use 2020 numbers or 2021 numbers because they are unusually high in terms of how fast properties have gone up in value. There's very few times in history that you can look back and see this much escalation in value or cost on property this fast. So I would say, like 17, 18, 19 in this market, pull up on the MLS for me, ask the real estate agent what the average appreciation rate was in the neighborhood that you're considering. Okay. And then that will tell you if you're going to make enough during your holding period to offset your costs.
Okay. So you would just take that rate and then...
That would be the rate I would use, because that's probably more average than what we're experiencing right now. That's what we're experiencing right now. I don't think is going to continue for 5 years. That's unrealistic. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. The second thing you can ask them for, and this might be the most important number in this whole conversation, is ask them for average DOM prior to 2020. Average days on the market. How hot a market is this? And if the average DOM on a house, the price range you're looking at is 270 days, that's 9 months. Don't buy. Mm-hmm. You're going to get stuck.
Okay.
But if the average DOM's 9 days prior to 2020, then that market was hot before the pandemic.
I see.
And, you got markets that were that way already. They were already running 20-day, 30-day, 40-day DOMs. And if you've got an average days on the market, then that market's going to move. You'll be able to get out of the house. I'm not as concerned about how much you're going to make on it. I'm fairly comfortable you're going to make some money. But I am concerned you can't sell it when you get ready to leave. And you end up with a rental property in the States, and you're on the mission field. Oh, shoot me, get it over with. I hate that idea.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Hey, man, good question, and thank you for your willingness to serve the Lord in that way. Very, very cool. This real estate market's got everybody talking.
You know it does, Dave.
I mean, it's because, you can move in a place and in 20 seconds make money on it right now.
Oh, yeah. Trust me, I know. I'm tempted. I'm tempted right now.
You just bought that.
I'm tempted.
How long have you owned that property?
7 months.
7 months, and you already make some money on it.
Oh, my goodness. I have offers on the house right now, Dave.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's how it works when you're Anthony O'Neill.
I'm tempted.
He's just a money-making machine.
Hey,
Look at him. Look at him.
Listen, man.
He looks like money, doesn't he?
No, I don't know about all that. I look good, but I don't look like money. But you know what, though? I'm just, but I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell.
Yeah. Until next Friday when he comes back in here and tells me he's sold already.
Now, if someone comes to me and says, I'll give you...
They already are.
No, but I'm talking about they give me a lot more money.
Well, what's a lot?
Give me 6 figures over asking price.
Whoa.
Why are you looking at me like that, Kelly?
Kelly gave it. She just gave him the Aunt Kelly look. That was Aunt Kelly looking in there. I saw that eye roll.
I sure did.
I saw it. It was real.
Hey, listen. Listen.
It's a wild market. Wild market. This is the Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Philip and Leah are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, love it. Very cool. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
And all the way down here to do a debt-free scream. How much did you pay off?
$84,000.
All right. And how long did this take?
3 years and 10 months.
Got it. Love it. And your range of income during that time?
We started at 80 and then took a dip down to next to nothing. And then now we ended at 165.
Wow. And then went double. Okay. So what do you guys do for a living now?
So I am a sales operations and incentive leader with a large electrification company.
And I am the director of City Lights, which is an outreach organization for our church, and I manage a team of teaching pastors, and I'm a lay counselor and teaching on the teaching team at our church.
Oh, wow. Cool. Which church?
Southbrook Christian Church.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good. Well, welcome, you guys. Very
Thank
good.
you.
What kind
Pleasure
of
to be
debt
here.
was this $84,000?
We had it all. We had the student loans. We had the car, the credit cards, the medical, the taxes.
Man.
Everything.
You're just like normal.
Normal
people. But then something happened.
We knew that we wanted to get out of debt. We didn't know how to. We didn't know a path other than just do the normal, make your monthly payments. It wasn't a clear line of sight of how to do it quicker. We saw a conference of yours in September of 2016 in Dayton. And we were like, we want to do that. That makes sense.
That was a great night. That hall, that is a great theater in there. I remember this.
Yeah.
And it is, it's fabulous.
I think we got really great seats because my parents work for WFCJ 93.7 The Light, the radio station.
Okay.
That is the only radio station in Ohio that does your entire show live.
Yeah.
Not simulcast. So I think that was probably the hookup that they, said, you guys need to be in the front row.
You got connections. I like it. Okay, so you get on the front row and you get the fire hose. Go up to a water fountain to get a drink, and we turned on a fire hose.
Wow. It blew my mind how much it made sense. Just simple things to do. So then that following February of 2017, we did the home study with another couple, and we were like, okay, we can do this. And I'm the numbers guy. I just laid it out. At the current income level, if we have our budget set this way, 3 years, we're done. And that was all fine and dandy. The first year, we actually were ish. Only about $13,000 out of the 84. And then I got laid off. A year into our debt-free journey, I was laid off for the first time in my career.
And you went to zero income.
Zero. And it was protect our four walls. And let's get to the next position. Let's grow our family and what's up next for us. And luckily, thankfully, the Lord provided, and I was able to find my next position, even get promoted, slightly higher level, and we were back on board.
And Leah steps into her role.
And then, so then Leah found a role that's more up her alley. And
literally March 15th of 2020 was my start date.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I went to work, everybody else went home, and then that just created our snowball. So that 2020 was an interesting time because there were we were meeting so many needs, we were feeding so many people, and I was seeing so much, devastation from shutdown. And yet I was making money
Mm-hmm.
and then getting a promotion and a raise during that time. And then he gets a promotion and a raise. And it was like, it felt uncomfortable, but it felt providential. Because I kind of felt like we paid our dues. We have also been both not working.
Yeah.
Living off of a severance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the best way to have sympathy with broke people is not be one of them.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, throughout you all's journey, I know you lost your job. Would you say that was the hardest part of this journey? Or was that one of them? What would you say was the hardest thing to do throughout this journey?
Persevere.
Persevere.
I think it's those darn envelopes. I don't ever carry them with me at the right time. They're always in the buffet, and I'm out shopping, and I need the envelope.
That was always our gripe. I'm like, would you please take the envelopes when you go somewhere? I'm not going to shop anywhere. Yeah, you'll end up somewhere.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
perseverance
was the hardest thing, just because it takes time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had our Entree Leadership Summit in Dallas last week, and I was with business owners and business leaders, almost 3,000 of them, and an amazing number of them had the best year ever in 2020. And there's almost like a survivor's guilt. Like, other people are hurting, but I'm having the best year ever.
Yeah.
But you did completely overcome, change, adapt, pivot, whatever you want to call unprecedented, whatever the words were we were all using to try to survive. And Ramsey ended up having a better year than we had originally predicted. But the amount of work we put in and the stuff we did to cause that to happen, I don't feel any survivor's guilt at all. I don't feel any guilt at all. Yeah. We earned every penny of it, and we helped a ton of people in a time when they were hurting. So it was exactly what it should be. But there's a thing out there that there's an amazing number of people in America that it was their best year of their life, income-wise.
Right.
That was us.
And they... And they're looking around and going, yeah, but I really can't tell anybody because all these other people are, it kind of feels weird.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have had that best year ever if it hadn't been for some of the planning and some of the things that we had put into place a couple of years ago and the route we needed and stay on budget and spend the cash only. Yeah. And, to kind of go
through. Is that what
stuff.
you attribute this to? What would you say the reason to get out of debt is?
Well,
the best ways. What's the technique? What's the thing you got to do?
It is just keeping the main thing, and understanding. But I would say we also helped some other people once we got on board and saw what we could do. And because he's so brilliant with math and the spreadsheets, there was another couple that we walked alongside, and they were like, "Oh, we'll never be able to be out of debt. It'll be 10 years." Philip said, "Let me run the math," and it was more like 5. And then it seemed doable to them. So then we'd find somebody else, and we'd say, "Hey, why don't you come over for dinner on Friday? Let's go over your finances and let's do it together." And
just tell us your life story and we'll help you.
Just let's go through your underwear drawer.
That was motivating because we could see, like, sometimes we'd be like, okay, well, we don't want to make that mistake again. We don't want to do that again.
Let's stay focused on our path.
Yeah, we did dumb too. It's okay. And so empathy was, was built through that process. So that kept us motivated to just keep going because we really could see the end in sight.
Very cool.
Yeah. So.
Real quick before we let you do your debt-free scream, your kids, you have kids. What do you think, what is one thing they're going to learn from this journey?
Bring them in. What are their names and ages?
Well, we have 3 children. Our 18-year-old has flown the nest, and she's working really hard in Columbia, South Carolina, doing her thing, working.
Good for her.
Yeah. And then this is Presley. She is our 12-year-old.
All right.
And then this is Avon, and she is 8, almost 9. So I would say they all had different experiences. Our 18-year-old got told no a lot. There was a lot of things, unfortunately, for Alex, that was like, we started this journey, and I think she thought we were crazy. She was a part of building those. I think we had a picture, but it was like the thermometers, and you color them all in, and she understood all that. And her perspective is probably a little bit different. And then Avon, she said this morning, we were laying by the pool at the hotel, and she said, man, in 10 years, because I said something about us being millionaires in 10 years, and she said, in 10 years, I'll be 18. It made sense to her, like, what that looks like. And she said, how old will you guys be? I was like, we're not telling. But anyway, I think what they're going to learn is, I remember a shopping trip with you, Presley, and we had the envelope, and I said, this is what we got, and you want to spend it all, that's fine. But if you want to put something back, what isn't really important, then just decide. And she made a really good decision, and I think just those little things along the way of just being disciplined, that we have the money to spend, but do we want to spend it on that?
Yeah, that's it. We're not in Congress. We have to have a limit.
Right.
I love it.
Amen.
Way to go, you guys. We're so proud of y'all. We got a copy of The Legacy Journey for you. That's your next step.
Thank you.
Is moving on to wealth and just outrageous generosity continued. You've obviously got big hearts. for ministry and for everything else. Way to go.
Yeah.
Very, very well done.
Thank you.
Another copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and pay it forward with one of those dinners where you go through your friends' finances.
That's
perfect.
right. We will.
All right.
We'll do it.
Philip and Leah Presley and Avon from Dayton, Ohio, $84,000 paid off in 3 years and 10 months, making 80 to nothing to 165. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! This is how it's done. Boom. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Paying off debt is smart. Saving and investing is smart. Being generous is smart. But there's one key to winning with money that's often forgotten, and that's protecting your family from emergencies. There's offense and there's defense. There's 10 kinds of insurance coverage you really might need, depending on your life stage. And we've built a tool to show you what coverage you need to add, drop, or adjust, and it only takes 5 minutes. We are not in the life insurance business. We're not in the insurance business at all. But we will teach you and rank your to-do list by importance and email it to you so you can get your plan in place fast. It's called the Coverage Checkup. It's completely free, and it could be the most important 5 minutes you spend today. Donald wrote in and said, I feel, and I kind of like how he put it. He said, for anyone who has not completed this checkup, do it right now. You never know when something will happen. You never want to leave your family in a bad situation. Amen. So get your phone out, text checkup to 33789, or you can visit daveramsey.com/checkup. Don't let an emergency sneak up on you. You got to play offense and defense if you want to win with money. Lisa is with us in Washington. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi there. Hi, Dave. Hi, Anthony.
Hey,
Thanks
what's
for
up?
taking my call.
Sure. How
well,
can we
I
help?
sort of have probably maybe a boring question, but my husband and I have spent the last 30 years getting ready for retirement. We're retired, and we realized we've been foolish. We have not had a will this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we want to put together a will, and we were asked, are we going to do a joint or a mirrored wills? And I don't know the difference. I can't really find a good answer, so I thought, call Dave.
I have never known anyone to advise a joint will because you need to have separate wills because you're separate people, and the chances of you dying at the same time. A joint will is just like the two attached at the hip is all it is. I would do a mirrored. That's what Sharon and I have done. We have a mirrored will. And a mirrored will is if we both die at the same exact moment or within seconds of each other or something, plane wreck or something like that, everything's the same when we're both gone. Mm-hmm. That's mirrored, okay? And so the only thing that's different is what happens if I die before her, how is it handled with her, and if she dies before me, how's it handled? And by the way, that's exactly the same. We just changed the names out. In other words,
right.
she gets everything. If I die, I get everything. If she dies, and we both die, it works the same either way after we're both gone. Does that make sense? So the reason that anybody brings up a mirrored will, they're identical except you just change the names in and out, is it's a lot less expensive because they don't charge you 2 full will prices.
Okay.
Most of them. They shouldn't. They shouldn't.
Okay, I think that I have a little bit of a control freak on me after I'm gone. We worked so hard. No, we did not inherit our wealth. We built it. We worked hard. We sacrificed. And I think I just thought of problems. I didn't know anything about this until somebody asked me the question.
Well, that doesn't. Neither one of these address the control freak issue.
Okay.
The only difference is it's either 2 separate documents or those two a similar version of those two separate documents attached at the hip. Joint versus alike except mirrored. That's the only difference in your question. Okay. Now then, as far as control freaking, then that's a matter of setting up a trust, leaving the money into trust, and the terms of the trust help you be a control freak from the grave.
Okay.
And I've done some of that. No, I believe in that to a degree. I mean, I don't want to be overboard with it, but I really, if I got a 29-year-old doing heroin, I do not want to finance that.
Right. Exactly. And I'm thinking if there is, dementia or Alzheimer's on either one of our parts, the other dies, we have a will set that we know this is what we want, and then, I'm just trying to control something like that where it's changed after, let's say, my husband dies and I have, dementia.
The will would be invalid. You would not be of sound mind if you change it with dementia.
Okay.
You ever heard like the movie say, I, Dave Ramsey, being of sound mind?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what that means.
Okay, that's the missing piece. That's why we called you for your brilliance. So thank you.
It's okay. It's all good. Yeah, you cannot execute a contract of any kind, including a last will and testament, if you're not of sound mind. And if you do, it can be undone.
Yeah. Dave, in your expertise, I've never heard of it, so I'm asking to learn too. Have you ever heard of someone where a joint will is a good idea?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not an estate planning expert, but because it complicates, it overcomplicates it. If you'll treat it as two individual people that have the same wishes, okay, I mean, we're not trying to act like we're not married or we don't care. It's not trying to separate the marriage or something like that. It's not like a prenup. It's not that kind of thing. Right. But it's a lot cleaner, and it helps you think through, okay, if you go first, here's what we do. If I go first, here's what we do. Mm-hmm. And you have to kind of think through that because it might be different if you had stepchildren.
Right.
Or, like if she had children and I didn't have children and we married second marriage or something, you kind of think through. You got to really think through how things are going to play out then and so forth. So the sound mind thing is wild.
Yeah.
I actually got in the weirdest deal when I was in my 20s. I was buying real estate. And I bought a mortgage note on a house.
Okay.
The bank sold it to me. The money was owed to this little rip-off finance company.
Yeah.
Okay. And I bought the note from them. It was like a $12,000 note, and it was I bought it. It hadn't been paid on in 4 years, and so I bought it for $500. So now the guy owes me $12,000, and I paid $500. You follow me?
Right.
There's a second mortgage on this house, so I go to collect it, and it's up in the country, and the son of the guy, turns out the guy had died, and the son of the guy gets mad and threatens to whip me. And so I said, well, dude, you can threaten to whip me if you want, but I'll just foreclose on the note. So we got to figure this out. And it was not pretty. So I just got out of there while my scalp was intact and started foreclosure.
Oh, wow.
And they sued me to stop the foreclosure. On a technicality, the suit got thrown out. But while we went to court, it was like going to traffic court. It wasn't a big time court case.
Yeah.
But it was just very interesting because I got in there and they brought doctors and nurses and everything. And it turns out that the old man had financed windows with this rip-off window company, and he had Alzheimer's and didn't even know what he was doing. And so the note was actually invalid.
Wow.
But because of a technicality, I beat it and was able to continue the foreclosure, but I couldn't do it because I just knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
And so I walked up to him afterwards. Now he ain't going to whip my butt because I'm in the court, right? I'm sitting there in front of the judge, and I'm like, dude, I had no idea. All you had to do was say Dad was ill.
Right.
I said, I got $500 in this, and I paid that lawyer over there $600, so I got $1,100 in this. If you'll give me the $500, I'll eat the lawyer fee just to own this story because this story's awesome. And so, because your daddy shouldn't have gotten ripped off, and I don't want to participate in that.
Yeah.
And
did you get the $500?
Yeah, he gave me $500, and I walked out, and he had no problem after that because otherwise he's going to lose the house to somebody.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to take it, but it just was wrong. But see, that's a person not of sound mind entered into a contract to buy replacement windows on his house he probably didn't even need for $12,000, puts a lien on his house, dies, and now I show up in this story, probably 3 years later, 4 years later after that. But that contract was not enforceable.
Because
if that little technicality in the court case, which you can't bring a court case within so many days of a foreclosure, or that can't be heard. So they didn't even have the court case. But if that doctor and nurses had gotten on the stand and said, I'm here to testify that man had Alzheimer's at the time this contract was signed, that contract would have been thrown out. I would have gotten zero. And because I bought an invalid contract, I didn't know it.
Wow.
I didn't know it was all fraud.
Wow.
That it was scummy people. I mean, I knew the finance company I bought it from was scummy. But I had no idea the whole deal was backwards like that. Very interesting, though. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned where not to go and ask somebody something because you can get your butt whipped, number one. Number two, I learned when you get in front of the judge that you can win on a technicality and still be wrong. Number three, I learned that when you do the right thing, you get a great story out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Did not take the family's little house. They can have it. Oh, my goodness gracious. Wow. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. You jump in, we'll talk about your life and your money. Samantha starts off this hour in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
I'm good. Thank y'all so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Okay. A quick summary. So my husband and I are paid off except for our house, are debt-free. And we're currently saving a lot of money because for our next house, we want to buy land and build a house on it.
Cool.
But I also went to move some old 401k accounts into an IRA, and they told me it would be about $20,000 to convert it to a Roth.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm wondering, is it better to put more money towards the land and next house, or is it better to pay the tax bill now and go ahead and convert that into a Roth account? We'll have the cash either way.
Neither one is under the dumb column. I mean, You're going to have tax-free growth on that Roth from this point forward. That would be awesomeness. And, of course, paying cash or almost paying cash for the land and the property going forward is be awesome as well. Either one is fine. Either one moves you ahead in your wealth building. Let me think which one I would do. What would you do?
I'm doing the land.
You're doing the land?
Yeah.
Mr. Real Estate over here.
Oh, yeah. I'm going after the land. I don't like the IRS that much. They come second.
Well, I don't like them. I'm trying to keep them away from it later. That's the point. So.
That's true.
What's your household income?
Our household income right now is probably around $170. I eventually want to be a stay-at-home mom, though, so we're living off my husband's income, which
but
is
right
about
now
$80,000.
right now you're making bank. Okay, so how much do you need for this land?
The land we're looking around $150,
and how much
we've
do you
already
have?
got 60.
I'm sorry?
60.
We already have 60.
Okay, so you're 90 away. See, I think you're going to do both. But you don't have to do the. But the only question is the order. Do we do the Roth now and then the land and pay cash? do both, or do we do the land and then convert to a Roth? By then the account will have grown a little more and it will be more than 20. But I still would convert it later. I'm probably with Anthony. I'm probably going to go ahead and save up and pay cash for the land, but then I'm also going to convert. You can convert this to a Roth anytime you want.
Right.
You don't have to do it on this transaction.
Right.
So go ahead and move it to a traditional, do your land deal, but come back and flip it to a Roth later when you're debt free.
Okay, perfect.
Pay your taxes at that time, of course, when you do that. That I would do.
I like it.
That's good.
I like that. Now, how long do you think that would be, Dave?
It didn't sound like it's going to be 2 years.
Yeah. So then 20,000 is maybe what, 22, maybe?
Yeah, but, it might be. I don't know. It depends on what the account grows to. But here's the principle, too, that we can go back to. Okay, we tell people not to, let's say she was in baby step 2.
Right.
We would never do that.
Right.
We always, need to get out of debt first.
Right.
And I wouldn't do it in place of baby step 6.
No.
I would say finish getting your house paid off before you convert to a Roth.
Yes.
And create extra tax money.
Yes.
While you're doing that. And so this is kind of like that.
I see you now. Yes,
and
sir.
so that got me over to your side on doing the land first. I think your instincts were right on that.
Thank you for admitting that, Dave. That
Very
means
good.
a lot.
Very good.
And I'm Dave Ramsey. You're Anthony O'Neill now.
Okay. We can switch. My stock just went up considerably. I'm way cooler than I was 5 minutes ago.
You're cooler. I'm richer. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a good trade.
Right.
Pam's in Akron, Ohio. Hey, Pam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and Anthony. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My husband and I are on baby step 6, and he is 57 and currently eligible for retirement. He has a pension, and if he takes that pension as a lump sum, it would be about $387,000. Currently, he has about $135,000 in his 401k. And our question is, should he retire and receive the lump sum, and should we dip into our 401k to finish paying off our mortgage, or should he keep working until the mortgage is paid and then consider retirement?
And what's his yearly income right now?
Right now, he makes about 45, and I make about 55.
What do you owe on the house?
$77,000.
Oh, man.
Well, you understand he can't access either one of these until he's 59 and a half without penalties, right?
Yeah, we were thinking under the rule of 55, he could access the 401k money.
Yeah, you can probably get some some RMD out of there, but I don't think you can get it all.
No. Okay.
I don't know. He might. Well, number one, if you're going to retire, yes, you take the lump sum always, and yes, you roll it to an IRA, and you don't pay taxes on it when you do that, okay? That's number one move.
Our concern, I guess, too, about retiring in the lump sum is if, like, he's eligible right now, and if something happens to him, like, say, before, now in 2 years from now when the house is paid or whatever, he keeps working, then if he passes away or something happens, then we lose that pension money. We would only get about a year's worth of salary as a benefit instead of the whole pension.
Is he ill?
No, he's in good health.
Okay. He just drives too fast. Okay.
Yeah. He's a risky kind of guy.
Yeah, we hear him in the background. Like, he is right. I am kind of risky.
All right. I'm just wondering why you didn't think he's going to make it. Okay.
You just never know, I guess.
Yeah. The other thing is this, okay? I'm going to read into this that this is not his dream job.
Okay, you're correct there.
Okay.
It's a factory job.
He's only 57 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 60, okay, and I'm going to work 20 more years just because I love what I do. I'm going to work till they won't let me talk anymore because I don't make sense. So that might be tomorrow, but I'm hoping for 20 more years anyway. But so the point is that he doesn't have to stop creating an income just because he retires. And so
we thought about that.
Yeah, what I would do is if you can pull the money without paying any penalties on it under 55 rule, if you've already looked into that and you can confirm that with a financial advisor, with a tax person, without me doing it on the radio, because that's not good a good plan, then yeah, I'm going to quit either way. I'm going to roll it to an IRA either way. And if I can pull enough out without paying any penalties to pay off the house, I'm going to pay it off now. I'm going to pay it off later otherwise. And I'm going to take a bow, and then they give you a standing ovation, and then you get what's called an encore career. And for the next 20 years, do something you love with your life and make twice as much as 45 while having fun. Whew. Doesn't mean you have to make nothing for the rest of your life.
I love it.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you're tired of feeling stuck with your money, like you'll never get out of debt or you'll never have enough saved for the future, it does not have to be this way. You can make progress with your money, and you can make it faster than you think. The only way to make it happen is with a budget, and that's why you need a Ramsey Plus membership. You get access to the premium version of the world's best budgeting app, Every Dollar. And you'll plan out every dollar that you're going to spend and save before the month begins. It connects to your bank, so you never miss a transaction. You get customized budget reports to show you exactly where you can find more money. You can get into Financial Peace University and go through the whole class, plus a bunch of other classes, and all kinds of groups that you can participate in, and even online coaching as well. When you budget and you get intentional with your money, you will make progress fast. And you can start a Ramsey Plus membership today for free. If you want to start the free trial of Ramsey Plus, text TRIAL to 33789. Text TRIAL to 33789. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey to get the best possible deal.
So, Dave, today's question comes from Sean in Missouri. Sean says, I'm 21 years old and currently making $31,000 per year at my job. I've been able to complete some college courses in the evenings, but it's challenging to keep up with school while working full-time. I have a plan that will allow me to work part-time during school and graduate without loans. Is moving to a part-time job worth the risk, or should I keep my full-time job and continue with college courses part-time? Great question, Sean. And one of the key things that I personally teach our young people is to work part-time while you're in college. And part-time meaning anywhere between 20 and max 22 hours maybe. And so, yes, I don't have a problem with you going down to part-time, so you can focus on getting your education, because I want you to do that. I do not want you to go down to working less than part-time. The only time I am okay with full-time work is if your full-time is not intervening with your education and or your full-time going part-time in school. But in this situation, with you going full-time, part-time hours are good, especially if you can do that and still graduate 100% debt-free.
Yeah, I mean, 12 hours a day, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's part-time. It's half a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, 12 to 20.
Work half days, 12 hours a day.
Yeah. Well, wait. No. I thought you mean like 12 hours a week. You know, come on, Dave. Dave he's trying to confuse me, y'all.
That's half time. I mean, that's working half.
No.
You're not even working full time. It's just half.
I mean, now you talking about working 12 hours maybe on Saturday, and he doesn't have to work Monday through Friday. Okay. You know, come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Don't do him
Listen,
like that.
the deal is this, man. What most people call work isn't real work. So stop whining and finish your degree debt-free. If you can do that part-time, that's fine. If you quit your full-time gig and your part-time isn't enough, crank it up and take 3 part-times and call it full-time and get back after it. Okay. Whatever it takes to get that degree debt-free, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And so you're not at risk as long as you're willing to work.
There we go. And don't listen to Dave. Do not work 12 hours.
That's part-time, Anthony. No whining. That's just a half a day. There's 24 hours. It's only a half-day work.
Oh, my gosh.
It's just lightweight, man.
You know, in the last segment, Dave, you said you're going to be here for 20 years unless you say something crazy. So I think...
unless I quit making sense. That does make sense. It's still just a half a day.
I think you're down to 1 year, Dave.
I'm losing traction fast. Josh is in Atlanta. Hey, Josh, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Fair enough. So, little context. I'm a new listener and first-time home buyer. Mm-hmm. And, this market, as I'm sure you're aware, is just kicking my butt.
The real estate market?
Yeah, real estate. Buying a single-family home.
Yeah, it's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. So my question for you is, I put a couple offers in, got blown out of the water because, everyone right now is thinking with their emotions. So it's like I gotta have this house, and, they're going 20 over asking, and I'm putting offers in for 5 over asking. I guess my question is, do I restructure my budget for a house? Because I've got a sizable down payment, and luckily I make, pretty decent money.
How much do you have down and how much you make?
So I've got down about 50 to 60.
Good.
And I make around 100,000 base.
Good. How old are you?
I turned 26 this week, actually.
Good for you. You're single?
Yep. Well, I'm in a,
Yeah, but you're not. Are you married? You're not married. Okay, good.
No.
I wasn't asking about your dating life. I was just asking if you're married. Okay. So a single guy, 26, making 100 with 60 saved. Well done, sir. Very well done.
No debt, Josh?
Nope. Pay for car in cash. I got one credit card just for 2% cash back that I pay off no problem every month.
No student loans? People sometimes
No.
Okay, all right.
So what you're calling about is down in your heart, you have recognized that people have lost their freaking minds.
Absolutely.
And you're trying to not join. You're trying to not join the crazy parade.
Please don't.
Exactly right. Like I got a text from my real estate agent today. She was like, "Yeah, they're going with another offer."
Yeah, and she's the drum major at the crazy parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just trying to keep all the stuff in order here.
Well, she wants you to buy a house, and if you don't go crazy, you're not going to buy a house right now. So here's the thing: have you ever seen one of those movies or ever been to a live auction where they're auctioning off something?
Oh, yeah, like the jabbering auctioneers. Oh,
yeah. And there's an old one with the old comedian Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin or something at an auction, and he kept scratching his nose and accidentally bidding and all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But what happens at an auction is people get excited, and in the exuberance and the emotion of the moment, they overpay for stuff. And that really does happen. That's why it makes a great movie scene as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
That's what you're in the middle of.
Yeah.
So you need to you need to emotionally steel yourself, put a buffer up in your emotions psychologically, called your intellect, that says I am willing, regardless of how many crazy butt people are around me, to pay X for this house. If it goes for X plus 20 grand, that is God saying I'm not supposed to get this house.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's every house though that I put in. You know what I mean?
Hey, Josh, it's the market. But you know what? You think it's going to be every house for a decade? No. You think it's going to be that way for 2 years? No. It might be that way till Christmas. It may be next year before you buy a house. But don't get in the crazy parade.
And Josh, why are you in a rush to get into a house?
Yeah, really.
Man?
There's nothing going fire here.
Yeah. You're young,
Well, it's just
successful.
'cause-
You got some money.
Yeah, I know. I've been dying for my own space.
Well,
go get an apartment.
Go get what?
Are
Go
you
get
living
an
at home?
So yeah, we're renting a home right now.
Okay. All right. So rent a home. Big deal.
Yeah.
Don't join the crazy parade.
Don't do it, bro.
Listen, if you can buy a house and you have done it in a way that you feel proud about how you did it instead of ashamed that you joined the crazy parade, then buy a house. I'm okay with that. I'm okay putting in some bids, but don't overpay. I looked at a house the other day for fun. There was $1 million over the comps.
Heck no.
The dude is smoking crack. All he's doing is fishing for the king of the crazy parade. I'm not in the crazy parade. So I just kind of looked at him and I went, dude, I'm going to stand back over here and watch this. This is spectator sport.
Right.
This is not a game I want to get in. So we'll stand back and watch, and if some idiot wants to pay that for it, that's fine. But over comps, no, man, just calm your butt down. Take a cold shower. You got house fever. Just calm down. You're going to get a house. You're going to be wealthy if you don't join the crazy parade. But pay X, no more. Ramsey personality is my co-host today on the debt-free stage right here in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions. Michael and Amanda are with us. Hey guys, how are you?
Great, how are you?
Better than we deserve. Where do you guys live?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
All right. And how much debt have you paid off?
$128,000, or $128,712.
Ah, okay. And how long did this take?
3 years. We were originally on a 4-year trajectory and finished a year early.
Jacked it up.
Yes, sir.
Cool. And your range of income during that 36 months?
$144,000 down to $127,000.
Cool.
The miss here went from full-time to part-time.
All right. Love it. And what do you guys do for a living?
I am a police officer and a retired captain in the North Carolina National Guard.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a registered nurse.
All right.
Nice.
And you work whenever you want, all you want.
Absolutely.
What hospital in Raleigh?
I actually work at Wake Med. It's in Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, I know about Cary. Yeah. My father was in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg. So
Awesome.
Familiar with Fort Bragg myself.
Yes, sir.
I bet you are. Yeah, very cool. What kind of debt was this $129,000?
It was everything. We were normal. It was mostly school loans, but car payments, credit cards, and 401k loans.
Sally Mae took the bulk of it, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
just trucking along normal.
Yep.
Two good careers, but loaded up with student loan debt, and then other stuff starts piling in there. How long you all been married?
Just since 2017.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, funny story. We, as we were going to recon our wedding venue, we listened to your show the whole way up. It was about a 4-hour trip from Raleigh to the mountains. So that's how it got started. And the first thing we did as a couple was financial peace, and then the rest was history.
Oh, wow.
So dope.
Well,
Yeah.
only the military guy recons his wedding.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Of course.
So romantic.
He's just blossoming over there. Yeah, that's great. So the trip though gets you turned on to it, and then you dive into financial peace.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we were kind of doing our own thing, and then as soon as we were married, then we merged everything, just like
Yeah.
you suggest, and then it was game on.
Yeah.
We actually kind of had to hit pause a little bit about 7 months in. We found out we were expecting.
Yay!
So it was a happy pause, but we did
Yeah.
have to kind of rein it in just a little bit for a while there.
Yeah,
So.
very good.
It's a good reason to pause.
Baby comes and hit play and go again.
And there we go. Yep.
Finish it up. That's a lot. 129,000 is
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah. Did that feel like when you started like you were never going to get through it?
It absolutely did, and we just continued to listen to your show. I have a 30-minute commute to my job, so that's what I did. As I was on my way in and on my way back, I'd listen to the segments, so it helped keep me motivated, and I had the spreadsheets out and, did all I could to keep us on track, and we did it.
So I'm looking at the math here, and it seemed like y'all were very aggressive,
Yes.
especially being a newlywed, new parents. What would you say was one of the hardest things throughout those 3 years?
Probably
Getting to the 129, I think it was, every time I looked at it, it seemed impossible, but we, for one, she was a good support system for me, and vice versa, and we had our monthly budget meetings, and we kept each other on track and accountable, and that was key for us. So
just trying to, saying no sometimes, especially as a new parent, in your ear the whole time, you're hearing, you have to do this, you have to have this, you have to whatever, and it's, and you don't. It's okay. Or being newlyweds, it's like, well, we didn't take a honeymoon. We still haven't taken a honeymoon, but it's like, it'll come, in time. It'll be fine. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah. And now you can go anywhere you want to go.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And how old are you two?
I'm 44, almost 45.
And I'm 42.
Okay.
Cool. Young people.
Very nice.
Of course.
Very
Younger
nice.
than Dave, so that's good.
Very good. Well, you'll be honeymooning the rest of your life.
That's right.
Very good. So, this is impressive. Very well. I'm proud of you
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Who
you,
were
sir.
your biggest cheerleaders?
I would
think
have
each other.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I really do. We did tell people along the way. I think we got a lot of crazy looks for it. A lot of people didn't quite understand, like, why don't you just keep on doing what you're doing? You make good money. You'll be fine. It's okay.
It's all going to work out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sure, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But we just had to boost each other up and just keep each other on track primarily. I think so. I think we were really each other's biggest support system.
Yeah, I had a crew at work too that were they weren't crazy enough to go down the baby steps road, but they helped keep me motivated along the way. Even though they're not doing it, but they were always
They were at least
keeping up.
positive.
Yeah, they were keeping up on what I was doing
Instead of making fun of you too bad.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
cool.
sir.
But now you're done, so I mean, no debt. How's it feel?
We finished up New Year's. We were done, I guess, December 31, and so we made the last payment. And so to wake up on the first of the year and say, this is it, like, it's a new
There it
year,
is.
everything is a fresh start, it was amazing.
That's cool.
It's a great feeling.
So what's next? I'm curious. Is honeymoon in the future, or?
Maybe once our little guy is 2, so maybe once he gets a little bit older,
Okay.
we might just save up and do something even bigger than we thought before. But
Sure.
Yeah.
we haven't talked about it yet. We're halfway through baby step 3, and then we're negotiating the rest of the steps, and then I think we'll get aggressive about a good honeymoon.
Nice
So
vacation.
That's good.
Good for you guys.
I love
you.
it.
Very fun. So as you're going through the 129, how much of it was Sally Mae?
about 75,000.
Ooh, a little over half then.
2 master's degrees in there. So
Yeah. So at what point when you were going through there did you kind of top the mountain and you go, we're going to make it? That kind of that breakthrough emotional thing, like you go over and you go, yeah, we got this.
I think for me, at the halfway point, it was just like, because it's that upward climb, and then once we got to the halfway point, I was like, it's downhill from here.
So like 65,000.
Yeah, and for me at least, I mean, certainly there were times that were tough after that where you were like, this is never going to end, but really and truly, once you crested the hill and you were coming down the other side, it was like, like the wheels came off. It's like, let's go.
when we got through everything that wasn't student loans, it got real to me. I was like, all right, this is serious. Let's do it. And then I looked down. I was like, I'm running downhill now. So.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. But it's still 75,000 to go.
Yeah.
Which is a lot, but
yeah. But
it felt more meaningful.
it's not about the math sometimes. It's just the way you're feeling about it. And you're going, got it. Wow, we're doing this. There's that moment where you kind of break through. And, this is really going to happen.
Absolutely.
This is not a theory. This is happening to me. Yeah, it's really, there's a thing that happens somewhere in there for everyone. And it did for Sharon and I too. So way to go, you guys. So proud of you again. We've got a copy of the Total Money Makeover, an extra copy for you to give away. And that'll be a way to pay it forward and help somebody else get started on this. And a copy of the Legacy Journey for you guys. Because that's the next step for you, because you got a 2-year-old. We're Legacy. We're changing our family tree here.
Absolutely.
We got real reason to do all of this. Very, very cool. So proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Well done, well done.
Thank you.
All right, Michael and Amanda, Raleigh, North Carolina, $129,000 paid off in 3 years, making 144 to 127. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free.
We've been doing this a long time, and you know what? The only thing I'm positive of, if you're listening to us right now, you can do this.
Absolutely. $129,000, 28 in debt, paid off in 3 years. If you don't get encouragement from that, I don't know what else can give you encouragement.
But in every case, it's someone who looked up and saw a mountain and said, okay, we need a path to the top of the mountain.
Yep.
We need a path. We need a way to get there. We need the climbing gear. We're going to learn how to do it. We're going to, and it's always, we're going to listen to podcasts. We're going to get on the budget with every dollar. We're going to go through Financial Peace University and Ramsey Plus. We're going to read Total Money Makeover. We're going to read Debt-Free Degree and send our kids to school debt-free. In every case, they got the toolbox.
Yes, sir.
And they filled up the tools. And they said, there's the mountain, and there's the path, and here's the map.
And let's go do it.
And it's not easy.
No.
But it's worth it.
Yes, sir. And with the plan, it's easier.
And it's there for everyone.
Yes, sir.
You. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture today, Matthew 6:34, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Margaret Thatcher said, you may have to fight a battle more than once to win it. Well, that's the truth. Some of these battles are just what are known as ongoing. Oh, well, this is what happens. Better a wounded warrior than to have never been in the battle. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jake is in San Diego. Hi, Jake. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Very excited to speak with you. I am currently 24 years old, and I just graduated from law school. I have $130,000 in debt, all of it student loans. I am starting a job, taking the bar in July and starting a job the first week of October. That job is going to allow me to refinance through a bank at about 2% and then fixed. And then on top of that, I'm going to be making $190,000 plus bonus. My question for you today is, does it make sense while I'm in baby step 2 and aggressively paying down the $130,000 to max my 401k and a health savings account?
No, that's baby step 4.
Yeah.
What makes? So wait a minute, what did you make this year?
This year, I didn't technically work, but the firm I'm going to be working for sent me about $40,000, and I had another job, so like $46,000.
So did you pay any of that on to the student loans?
I paid tuition for my final year, and before I started listening to you, I actually funded a Roth.
Okay. All right. So what my challenge would be to live like a college student. You know what? If I woke up in your shoes, I think you have landed an unbelievably awesome job.
Absolutely.
And you have an unbelievably awesome future ahead of you. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Did I understand you correctly to say at 24 years old you're going to be making $190,000 next year?
Yes.
Okay. And you owe $130,000 in student loan debt?
Yes.
You know what I would do? I would live on nothing and I would be debt-free in 1 year.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Can you stay home, Jake?
I can't because of where my job is, so I'm going to have to pay rent and stuff.
Where's the job?
I'm working. It's going to be in New York City, and the hours are going to be very long. But
as in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay, you are not going to be debt-free in 1 year.
You're not, yeah.
Okay. But you're going to be debt-free in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to buy housing, and you're not going to be able to pay for housing of any kind in New York City and do what I was talking about. So you cannot live on absolutely nothing. But just the same, you've still landed a wonderful income.
Yes.
And congratulations. You obviously were quite a star pupil in your law school because you got recruited by a big-time firm that's paying you big-time money. Way to go. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Well done. But listen, don't fall into the trap of doing what a bunch of the goobs that got recruited with you will do.
Don't do it.
These goobs will be in debt for 10 years because it's 2%. You don't want to pay off 2%. Bull crap, son. Pay it off now.
Mm-hmm.
Fast.
Okay.
Fast.
Attack it, bro.
Fast as you can.
And Jake, this means you need to look for roommates in New York. You need to really, bro, you are living as cheap and as low as possible.
They're going to work you 80 hours a week anyway. You're not going to have time to do anything but work, right?
Yeah. What I'm expecting.
Yeah, your first year out, they're going to try to kill you. That's their job.
Yep.
Yeah, so just work all the time, do nothing, and pay debt. And do that for a year and a half to 2 years. You'll be free, and all of your compadres, all of your peers will still be struggling with $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 worth of student loan debt, and they'll all be walking around the halls with their lips stuck out and making a ton of money and have no money.
Yeah.
And you, son, will be on your way if you'll do what I say to do. Yeah. Not many people will do this, but let me tell you, wealth is weird. Even in the hallways of big-time law firms in New York City, wealth is weird. There's a lot of people walking around with their chest stuck out, act like they've got something, and all they got's payments. Don't be one of those. I want you to look and act like you are poor, because you are. You are deeply in debt. And clean this mess up as fast as you can. Now, I don't know if you'll do it or not, but man, if you don't, this conversation's going to haunt you later.
Sure will. It sure will.
Man, he could be free. So what a killer job.
Man, he'll be.
He's a stud.
Yeah, and he's a lawyer. And if he works it right, Dave, his income is going to go up.
Yeah,
and
he'll be making $250,000 with no debt.
No debt
in no
his
time.
20s.
In no time. At 24 years old.
Man, what was I doing?
Ding, ding, ding. Well, it wasn't law school.
Well, it sure was.
So.
Man, I'm so mad.
If it had been, I wouldn't have been one of those. But anyway, I didn't qualify for that. But it's still very cool. And the point is, mathematically, if you will lean into this, he has a future that's so bright. Susan's with us. Susan's in Memphis. Hi, Susan. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
Better than I deserve. How can Anthony and I help?
I have a question, kind of twofold. I have a daughter who came out of a 4-year undergraduate program debt-free. We were able to get our gift to each 4 kids is 4 years debt-free. Now she's in a graduate program in a veterinarian school, and, welcome to adulting, she took out loans to pay for school. So after 4 years of school, she will be in debt probably around $160,000 to $180,000. So, as a parent of grown children, I've been really kind of talking to her about, do you want to just pay some interest off? Can you get in the habit of, even if it's $100 a month, just pay something off on it to get her to be disciplined toward that? She's asking me, Mom, do I need to open up a Roth IRA right now with the money I get from grandparents, from just the odd jobs that she's able to do? She's very industrious. She's already gotten a job over the summer, but I think she's a little confused about what she needs to do first or second while she's living on loans and just studying, 21 hours each semester. So do you guys have some steps for her?
Well, Suzanne, here's the thing that I really want to challenge you on it that you may not like. I think that instead of her taking the money to have your daughter pay towards her loans, I want to kind of challenge you a little bit and suggest a different route, which is have her take that extra money and start paying it towards her school now. Okay, as far as this way she can stop borrowing as much money. Now you're right; it may not be a whole lot, but if she has an extra $500, she needs to put that towards her school, not into a Roth IRA, not into investments, not even into paying off. The key thing is I want her to stop borrowing as much money as possible, and then from there, once she graduates college, then we can have a conversation on how to start paying off debt. But I want her to stop building up the pile. That's the conversation I will be having with your daughter at this present time.
Yeah, as fast as she can, as much as she can, limit the borrowing or down to no new borrowing. And then the next step will be to clear the debt. And the Roth IRAs are way after that. Yeah. She does not need to worry about investing right now. She's broke.
Yeah.
And getting broker by the minute.
Yes, she is. And she's actually going down on her housing by moving in with somebody else by $500 a month. So she is trying to lower her monthly quote installments because she only gets a certain amount, and she's trying to borrow the least that she can.
Yeah.
But you guys would not, even if it's just a little bit of her getting a habit.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. The habit is don't borrow more.
Exactly.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah. Every one of those dollars is avoid going further into debt, because that's just that's less of a mess to clean up when you get out.
Absolutely.
And that's where, because the opposite is what usually happens is that people just go and borrow for everything. Mm-hmm. They buy a car, they rent an apartment with a skylighted jacuzzi and a racquetball court, and it's all on government-funded student loans.
Yes.
As if that were necessary for education. And that she's not doing that, but that's what a lot of people do.
Right.
Good show, Anthony.
Hey, thank you, Dave. Thank you, America.
Good job, James Childs and Kelly Daniels in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Did you know you can listen to The Ramsey Show on your smart speaker? Just tell Alexa, Google Assistant, or Siri to play The Ramsey Show podcast. Check out all Ramsey Network shows on your smart speaker today.